Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. So we're gonna talk about the 5 things that will break down on your BMW, that I will go over here with you and go over them and tell you some details what you can expect and when they will break. So I have outlined them right here. These are the water pump, the housing gasket, fan motor, regulator, and then the ignition coil. And I'm gonna go through each of them at the moment so you can see what the deal is. The first one that I have over here is your oil housing gasket. Usually I've seen this thing happen on the higher mileage cars, so 120, 130 miles and up. Your housing gasket is pretty cheap. However, due to its tricky design, the gasket starts to leak. And this is the symptom that you have right beside your oil filter right there. You will see a little bit of dust and a greasy grease on the housing right there. Now let's get to the second one, and this one is a little pricey. Now keep in mind, this one here, $10 is the gasket, and then it's the labor to do the rest. So it's a pretty inexpensive repair. However, keep in mind that you may have to do it at a certain point if you're gonna keep your car. Now, the second one is the water pump, and usually I've seen them fail from as low as 50,000 miles on some cars, and I've seen them last up to 150 miles. So it's really hard to tell. As you see on the E90, they're electronic. So the benefits are that they will last longer than your old school water pump driven by the belt. But then again, fixing it is not cheap. The part is about $400, and then it's all about, then the labor another 3-4 hours. So in Canada and US, this repair can cost you about $1,000. Keep it in mind. Let's move to another one, and that's the motor blower. It hasn't happened yet on my car. Now, motor blower tends to fall down because the moisture gets in it, and at that point you will hear that buzzing noise, kind of like clicking noise when you turn it up and try to get your car heat up. You will hear that noise, clicking noise. This part is about $100 and about half an hour labor. So keep that in mind. $100 for the fan and resistor, and then half an hour labor. So pretty inexpensive repair. Now moving back onto another one is your window regulator. Window regulators are pretty tricky. Luckily for us that have the newer cars, they kind of stopped failing on us. However, by rule of thumb, if you have an older BMW, chances are that you may have this issue. Fairly inexpensive repair, depending on where you get your parts, and it doesn't take that time to remove. However, keep it in mind, this is an issue on the older Beamers that I see. Okay, and then moving on to another one over here, ignition coil. Now, the problem with this thing failed on my car at 90,000 kilometers or 50 miles. The part is about $40 to do each. So you have about 6 coils on a 6-cylinder, I believe. And then you can also do at the same time, you can do your spark plugs right there. So you got the spark plug, you got the coil at $40 each. Then you have the spark plug. So coil and a spark plug, multiply that by 6. And some labor, this job can get pretty pricey. And on my car, it failed at 90,000. However, usually the coils can last you about 100,000 kilometers or 60,000. I hope you find this useful. Like, subscribe, and take care.